Would like to talk to you about quantum biology and apotherapy and the new technologies that I'm developing at Quantum Technologies Limited that supports a person's ability to heal themselves through the use of regenerative medicine. So what is quantum biology? What is singularity physics, and how will this impact on our current understanding of biology, as well as the role that quantum biology is going to play in the future of regenerative medicine? These are some of the things that I will discuss today, as well as highlight a technology that I've made from Manuka honey called O-Behave, Empowering Healing, as a apotherapy light healing technology. Okay, so what is quantum biology? It's really the study of quantum physics phenomenon in biological systems, and it really provides a new way of looking at biology using a lens of physics. And because physics operates at times and scales that are typically not intuitively understood by a human being, then we're talking about very fast things and very small things in relation to light, in relation to electrons and protons or hydrogen and their fundamental roles in biology. And because there's a real strange paradox underlying quantum phenomena, and that is that when you observe something, you in a sense interact with it and therefore change it from what it was into something that is fundamentally different from what it was prior to the interaction and the measurement. So a new model has been developed, which is really looking at things using logic rather than interaction. And in this way, we're able to use a logic-based framework in order to understand quantum phenomenon in biology. So science evolves as we evolve our understanding about ourselves. So over the past 400 years, Western science has focused on matter-based physics, and really our teachings and understandings have really been focused on the 5% of the universe that we know as matter. And we haven't really made much of an impact in understanding and discovering what that other unknown 95% of the universe is, the dark matter, dark energy. Einstein developed a general theory of relativity and understanding gravity as bending space-time in the early 1900s. A new kind of theory of atomic structure was developed in the 1930s, and that was quantum mechanics. And that's progressed over time to try to understand the functional way that atoms operate at the level of forces within them. So in 2019, over the past, I guess, 3 years, I started my company, Quantum Technologies Limited. I've been developing a singularity physics model. The idea is all the forces come together at the singularity, and can we understand the singularity using old physics, that of Newtonian physics, and through a logic-based process rather than a measurement-based process, because we currently do not have the tools to measure down at the Planck scale at times of 10 to the negative 44 seconds and at 1.6 times 10 to the negative 35 of a meter. So those scales are unavailable with the technologies that we have, so we can only theoretically understand the singularity using logic. So this model that I've developed has really enabled me to look at atoms and hydrogen and its ability to quantum tunnel in biology to create isotopes, and what would be the outcome of isotope physics within our biology in relation to some of the strange and wonderful aspects that human beings have shown over the millennium. So what is singularity physics? Well, it's a model for the universe based on empirical evidence using logic. It allows the structure of single atoms to be known based on the electromagnetic force that is contained within the atom itself. The forces create geometry. So the geometric features required for quantum tunneling of light to invert the light into a stable state. And it is a model that builds from the standard model of physics through the reintroduction of positrons into the atomic structure. And this new model for the atom has allowed the identification of what dark matter and dark energy is, and the identification of a singularity before the beginning of time as a helium Bose-Einstein condensate. So this is a non-interactive logical model that enables the identification of the various components of the universe, including dark matter, dark energy, and matter. It enables one to understand the concepts of no space and no time, as well as the geometry of photons of light having no charge and no mass. And therefore, it really provides a logical way to look at the structure of atoms and then explain time in terms of atomic isotope physics and the time reversal symmetry in biology that's responsible for observation and the requirement for our mind, our conscious mind, to perceive reality in a time reversal symmetry state of directional time flow. Anyway, I know that sounds very complicated, but hopefully I'll be able to navigate you through this in a more simplistic concept. So the science provides a way of understanding negative time dilation, or the inflationary phase of the universe, and why the universe is continuing to expand because of alpha particle emission, which is at speeds faster than light, and how we can understand our own physics operating within the mind based on isotope physics. So it gives a window into cognitive function of the mind itself. So the Hebeck model, or supersymmetry inversion, is a concept for the unified field theory based on understanding the identity of the structure of the universe before the beginning and its generation of energy, dark energy and dark matter and dark energy. I guess it's a way of understanding how an original form of light was produced in the universe from a single state where all the electrons within a helium Bose-Einstein condensate are at a ground state, so there's no contrast from one electron to another with respect to energy levels. And the mathematics behind those ideas come from the Planck scale and an inverted symmetry of the Planck scale, and then the relationship between those two and the speed of light. In a way, you can understand the geometry of that initial starting point based on rearranging Einstein's equation from E equals mc squared to c squared equals E divided by m, and understanding rise over run on a mathematical kind of geometry of the cross, which I've outlined here in the imagery, and the idea of the right-hand rule of electromagnetism, or the release of photons going both in and out, 12 going out and 4 going in order to understand the ratio of 3 to 1 and the dark energy, dark matter components of the universe, where alpha particle decay releases the photons of light at 10 times the speed of light, giving the inflationary phase, and the inward trajectory giving the Planck length after 13.8 billion light years at square root of the binding kinetics converted into kilojoules per mole. What that kind of boils down to is this model has an alignment to the cosmological composition of our universe and provides context for how the universe was originally created, which is pretty cool. So the cosmological understanding of our composition of the universe that we live in is 68% dark energy, 27% dark matter, and 5% matter. The alpha particle decay leads to matter formation, and there is a continuation of matter formation over time. And as you see, because the alpha particles are a long way away from us, their decay leads to the formation of matter-antimatter symmetry pairs in relation to the inward motion of dark matter at the Planck scale epoch. And together this kind of combines a way of understanding how the universe is continually being created at the edge of the universe, where the alpha particles are actually at the moment, and continuing to expand faster the further away they are. So it gives the indication of the Hubble constant based on the expansion rate of the universe. Why this kind of links back to Einstein geometry really comes down to understanding straight line physics and y equals mx plus c, and the relationship between the electric field and the magnetic field within the atomic structure itself. Why is this important? Why does this actually matter? Well, if we don't understand 95% of the universe at the moment, and we're just thinking that the universe is external and physical and made of matter, we have a model that's incorrect. Okay, so by having a deeper appreciation of the other 95% of the universe and how it's generated through fields of light, electromagnetism, then we can understand how our actual biology works using electromagnetism, light within the structure of the atom, which is the electromagnetic force and responsible for the structure of the atoms that make up our body. Okay, so this cross-based geometry is really important to understand the functionality of hydrogen and quantum tunneling and entanglement. And it's those properties of hydrogen that creates isotopes in biology. And this is something that we haven't been looking at. We have not been studying isotope physics, and therefore we've really been blind to the functional role of hydrogen in biology. We're focused on carbon-based biochemistry, and that ain't cutting the mustard when it comes to regenerative healing. And I would say that we now have a tool to pursue a different, I guess, lens in which to look through in order to understand healing in biology and regeneration. So the models that the hydrogen wave function provides are really a Schrodinger's equation. It's really complicated mathematics, and I don't want to go into it at all. My approach is not using quantum mechanics. I use a very simple mirrored symmetry inverted model where the nucleus of the atom provides a model for a pinhole camera. where one side of the atom is inverted through the center to the other side. So you get a positron-electron pairing as a way of looking at the electromagnetic fields within the structure of the atom. Using Einstein's equation, we can see how light can be held between the 2 points, and the center point remains 0 in a non-interactive logical understanding of how the atom is stable when it has an equal number of positron and electrons, or up quark and down quark pairs. And it's this kind of model that I've developed in order to understand how isotope physics operates in biology. So I've revised quark charge calculations up and down, and I use multiplication rather than addition of fractions, and this has allowed me really to explore supersymmetry inversion. And the functionality of supersymmetry inversion, it allows you to isolate an environment in which one atom is present, and you can, through non-interactive logical understanding, provide context for the structure of that atom and its stability or instability based on the weak force radioactive decay events within an isotope. So I have a different model. The model allows me to understand hydrogen and its role of quantum tunneling to create light from atoms, or from light to create atoms. So it is a boundary between, I guess, the electromagnetic field and the atomic formation of hydrogen as energy in structure. So why is all this important? Well, it allows you to look at things in a different way. It gives you a basis to look at quantum tunneling in biology using logic rather than measurement, because when you interact and measure, you disturb the structure of the system, so it no longer operates as it would if you were no longer interacting with it. So it is a logical based way of doing things through non-interaction. So this is the weird and wonderful, and it really comes down to the functional role of hydrogen in the formation of isotopes within our memory system. This is how hydrogen is delivered within the aromatic ring and how single atoms operate within this environment. See, these are the single atom systems operating in a protein extract that I make from manuka honey. And you can see that they are dancing with laser light being irradiated. It's very strange to see this kind of functionality within proteins, but it comes down to the way that single atoms operate in aromatic ring systems. Okay, so the physics that I am playing with is really a single atom physics system that produces high energy, short-lived radicals, and the most potent being the oxidative radical, the hydroxy radical. It's got a half-life of a nanosecond and it releases 1200 electron volts of energy. It's what biology uses to break itself back down into CO2 and water. And it's that functionality that is part of the death regeneration system in cell biology. As you can see in this video, here single atom physics systems involved in the generation of biophotons. When you break a bond, you release light. And it's that light communication system that's also important in biology to enable cells to talk to each other at distance. So we have a different way of looking at light within the structure of atoms through positron-electron pairing, and the geometry of light within the atom can be released in a way to send that information from one place to another. So it doesn't have to physically move from A to B. It can move via photons of light and unpicking atoms 2 photons at a time. So this is a very strange biological process that not many people know about. Perform magic, they receive light and change their structure, and they do it instantaneously like a light-based battery, but it's all isotope physics driven, atomic structure based on the electromagnetic fields within the structure of the atom itself. It's very strange to watch how light can be released out of a fluid, and then just like that, light can be put back into the structure of the liquid, transforming it instantaneously. Now, people might know about cymatics, and sound creates sand structures within tonal generator plates, but this is beyond weird in a sense that it uses quantum entanglement and quantum tunneling in order to generate structure within a quantum fluid. All I can say is, yeah, it is a bit weird, but it has profound biological consequences which are beyond what people currently consider. So we have this power to regenerate within our bodies. We have the power to heal. Most of this is occurring at night when we're sleeping. And when you look at isotope decay as the release of photons of light, well, we can actually see light in our dreams with our eyes closed. And this provides context for the single atom memory system that's housed through the aromatic ring and the electromagnetic field and the delivery of hydrogen into that atom to create the isotope, and then its decay at night to generate the light that we see with our eyes closed. So the physics that I'm doing really reveals a window into the subconscious world, a universe of light within the mind that's seen, that's delivered through hydrogen, and the role of the amine in delivering that into the aromatic ring. So I've developed technologies that allow the power to heal using light. It's a little bit strange to think that atomic light is inherently energizing and healing, but as you will see, that is exactly what I've been utilizing in the technologies that I've been developing from Manuka honey. And the experience that I had back in 2013 was quite profound in terms of being able to see and perceive light within the mind at wavelengths shorter than visible wavelengths of light. You can read a bit more about the experience and the new kind of insight of consciousness that I've developed based on the vision and the lens in which to perceive an inner universe of light within the structure of atoms. So I kind of provide that information on my website. So I just want to say thank you, and if you're interested in having a look at the technology, trying the technology, please get in touch. And I would like to say thank you very much for Doctors Federation for the World, for this global summit opportunity to share this new technology that I've been developing over the last 3 years as a way of enabling and helping people to restore their health and well-being. The technology is I would say, you could say it's a bit Star Trek-y, a bit futuristic, and you'd be right on the money there. It is a unique product. I would say one of the first things to market in terms of a biologically suitable light healing technology that is made from food. And it's used topically, and it supports a person's ability to heal themselves using hydroxy radicals to stimulate apoptosis in their body. So part of our natural cell death and regeneration system. So supporting the physics of light within our bodies helps us in healing. So all the best, thank you, and take care.